Hey, y'all, listen. Welcome in the building. Happy Sunday. Listen, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Whether you dad, a dad and the granddad, you the stepdad, you the bonus dad, you the uncle, whatever the case may be. Happy Father's Day to all of y'all. And I hope you had an amazing Father's Day. To all the people out there that's still fortunate enough to have their dad in their life, give them a big hug. Make sure you celebrate your dads, uncles, grandpas, all of them today. Now, listen, people, Diva had to come through the building. First of all, let me tell you about my goal. My goal for June, even though we at the halfway mark, but you know what stuff can happen. My goal for June is to hit 50K subscribers. So don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, like, subscribe, and share. Okay, because sharing is caring. So anyway, guys, we're here with trending topics tonight, and the title is called "Oh My." I'm gonna be honest with you, but see, it's easy for me to say because I'm not a drinker. Okay, I'm not a drinker. So, but I really want to go with the fact that these airports, they need to ditch this alcohol. The amount of people that get on these flights intoxicated is unreal. They get on these flights intoxicated. They are hindering and impacting the rest of the people that are traveling. This chick was so drunk, they wanted to remove her from the flight. She refused to get off. They had to board the plane. Everybody had to get off so that they can get her off. So now everybody's delayed because you drunk. It's not fair. It's not right. It's messy. And I think the airport owns a piece of this situation. Cut back on the alcohol. They have bars, literal bars in the alcohol. They have bars, and then on top of them having bars, they have restaurants that serve the alcohol too. So what I think needs to happen is we need to cut back on this alcohol altogether, and even the alcohol that you can get when you're on the plane needs to be a limit. 2 drinks, and that's it. You can maybe possibly get 2 drinks before you board, and then the 2 drinks on the plane, and then we're done. I mean, she was drunk. It impacted every passenger that was ready to get home to their people because they had to get off the flight so they could get home off the flight. So we're going to talk about it. And then, Judge Mathis speaks. This Diddy trial is impacting the world. People that probably didn't even really know about hip hop like that or Diddy like that are now involved in talking about and covering this Diddy trial, okay? Covering it. So Judge Mathis spoke out and pretty much said that his family and friends, they should be supporting him down there at that courthouse and condemn him in private, but support him in public. I'm in agreement with that. We all fall short. And I'm going to stand by my family members. That don't mean I condone what they did, but I'm going to stand by them. In private, I'm going to smack their hand. Say, you know better than that. But in public, I'm going to support them. And there's a lot of people that they was down with the get down with Diddy. They got a lot of us talking about, well, I wasn't at the party. I left the party early. Oh, my God, he did this. Oh, my God, he like that. And they like it, too. And only reason why they acting all crazy now is because they figured if there was tapes of them, it would have been out already. Or they know that those tapes are being, if there are tapes, they're going to be held private. But you played with him for 20 plus years. Do a Kanye, go down there for like 30 minutes, show up, and then be out. And it looked like I'm freezing a little bit. So in a minute, I'll go hardwire into my computer. So hopefully that'll help. But Judge Mathis, he spoke, and I'm in agreement. Go down to that courthouse out there in Brooklyn and support the man you've been partying with all these years. Matter of fact, where's Stevie J at? You was living up in that Miami. You was living out there on Star Island. You was living in the mansion. get on a plane, go to that courthouse and pop in and out and show Diddy some love. Because he gave you a place to live. Let's talk Halle Berry. Not J-Lo too. J-Lo was long removed from that relationship with Diddy though. She long removed. I'm gonna cut J-Lo. I'm gonna cut J-Lo a pass. Because after that pow situation in that club, J-Lo didn't speak Diddy, see Diddy, know Diddy, nothing. She was done. So let me talk Halle Berry. Halle Berry been married 3 times. And listen, because we get one life that we know of, and when you done, I'm of the mindset of keep doing it till you get it right. Keep loving. Don't get bitter. Don't get a hard heart. Don't put walls up. Keep loving until you get it right. That's who I am. So her current boyfriend, Van, they was doing an interview. He said, listen, I already proposed to her. She ain't say yes. He said, maybe you could convince her to say yes. They've been together 5 years. And Halle Berry said, I'm not opposed to it. I'm just thinking about it. And I don't blame Halle for thinking about it because Jennifer Lopez has been through a lot too with these men and these marriages. And the last thing you need is for somebody to coming in the second half of your life, because Halle Berry is 58. This is the second half of her life. She already paying the other greedy exes all of this money. They are tapping into her pocket. So I understand why she's on the local road with this relationship. I'm not judging her. Because God only knows she don't need to be paying a 4th husband a dime if it doesn't work out. So the fact that she want to take this thing slow and she let the people know I love him. He's my soulmate. I probably should have been with him from the door. She's not in a rush to go down the aisle and say, I do. And I get it. Because it seems like everybody now, they're about games. They're playing games. And you don't know that they're playing the game until you know. So Halle, do it when you're ready. Get yourself a prenup. And get yourself an ironclad prenup. I would tell my lawyer, make sure at the end of the day, I ain't got to pay him nothing. Not my pension, not my 401k, not a monthly allowance. Let him go do his thing and let me continue to do mine. Now, my day, they call it shacking up. I ain't one for shacking up, and I ain't never going to say, I'm not even going to say I never did it. But I ain't really one for it. But in this particular case, Halle, continue shacking up. Because when it's over, he's not going to be able to tap into your bank account. But if you feel that one day you wake up and like, you know what, I'm ready to marry him. I ain't mad at you. I'm going to support you. But I'll support you with a prenup in your back pocket. Listen, guys, y'all know what time it is. It's Sunday Night Trending Topics, and the title is simple. It's called On Mine. Y'all ready for this? Y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Sunday Night Trending Topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Oh My. We got the junk plane chaos, okay? We got Judge Mathis letting the people know, support Diddy. And we got Halle Berry saying she will say I do again. She just don't know when. Let me bring my passenger in the building. Hold on one second. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Diva. Is it just me and you? Ladies' night.
It's us. It's ladies' night. It's ladies' night, and I'm here for it. Listen, we ready? We're going to get this thing done. You know, I really... Like I said, Savannah, I'm not a drinker. I don't drink at all. So I don't understand it too much. And I don't understand, we got another passenger. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva. Hey, Maz. Hey, chat.
I don't understand it, but I really think that the plane industry, they need to get control of, this whole situation. Let me see. Let me make sure I can bring something up here. 1 second. Let me just pull up the footage here. I will pull it up. Well, while I'm trying to pull that up, okay, hold on 1 second because it clicked out for some reason. Like I said, I hope all the fathers out there, had a good Father's Day. So let's see. All right, I may have to pull it up later. I'll figure it out. But in the meantime, let me share screen. All right, there we go. So, drunken Delta passenger resists arrest, forces other passengers to deboard plane. Why would you do that? Okay, that's what she said. I think, is this it? No, that's not it. Okay, so an entire Delta flight from Dallas to Boston had to exit the aircraft after a drunk passenger refused to get off the aircraft, new body cam footage showed. The passenger was slurring their words and struggling to stay awake as authorities repeatedly tried to get her to leave the flight, according to police body cam video. The woman claimed she had just 2 shots of booze before admitting she actually downed 6 glasses of wine while waiting for the delayed flight. As a flight attendant told cops the passenger had also consumed Prosecco and 2 shots of tequila on board. Now, why would she even serve that much? See, that to me is a problem with their rules. I do not trust this state and I'm trying to go home. So do not hold me here. The woman, identified as Alicia by the Daily Mail, said in the footage from the April 14, 2024 flight. You need to stand up and get off the airplane, ma'am, the officer could be heard saying in the footage. No, I don't, the disabled woman responded with her eyes closed. When medical personnel failed to convince Alicia to get moving, police directed the rest of the passengers to exit and physically removed her. Give me my one warning and only warning back, she wailed as officers handcuffed her. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? All I was trying to do was fly home. Because you didn't want to fly me, she's pathetically continued. Ma'am, I'm not the airlines, the officers replied. Alicia spat on the ground as the cops escorted her off the passenger onboarding bridge. Back in the terminal, she confronted a chorus of disapproval from her angry fellow passengers who yelled boo in her direction. Alicia's bad behavior didn't end there. After cops placed her under arrest for criminal trespassing and public intoxication, the Daily Mail reported Alicia began frailing and throwing herself on the ground inside the airport. She also refused to allow them to search her for weapons. Ma'am, I will prone you out if you don't stop kicking, a cop said, referring to the position in which someone is laid face down. Eventually, officers were able to get her inside a squad car where Alicia can be seen in video footage kicking her feet and hyperventilating. Stop going through my ass, she yelled at the officers at one point during the ride. All I did was try and peacefully get out of a effing plane, she cried. She can then be heard begging cops for a cigarette. I need a cigarette. Can I please just have one ciggy? Can I have my vape? She later asked, to which the cop responded, no, you can't have your vape. Ever uncooperative, Alicia clapped back at a female officer at the station who asked her to undo her hands. Undo my cuffs, and I will, she repeatedly snarkingly. No, what did I even do wrong? She wailed after the officer asked her once again to comply. Finally, Alicia was led to a room and laid face down on the ground where cops could be seen removing her jewelry. Delta Airlines did not immediately respond to requests for a comment. A representative for Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport told the Post to file a Freedom of Information request for more details about the incident. Listen, she wilded out. I pulled up the footage while Savannah, go ahead and speak, and then I'm going to pull up the footage so we can actually see the footage. K&J, I love you. Thank you. Yeah, Mama was lit.
Yeah, that was going to be my first statement. This woman was clearly lit. I agree with you, Diva, that there has to be some type of protocol in place for these passengers. Should only be authorized 2 drink minimum before boarding a plane. And I'm for one that I don't believe alcohol belongs on a flight, regardless of where you're going. Because you're not only putting the crew, the airline attendants at risk, but all the passengers as well, all the travelers. There's families on board.
Yes.
People are unruly. And, this is just, I think a solution is not only to hold these restaurants and establishments accountable for some of these passengers being unruly, because I don't think just putting them on the do not fly list is enough. I don't think that these people that do this really have shame, and this isn't enough. I think that maybe there's extra attendance, or even the crew itself stand there when we're scanning our ticket to board the plane. There should be some type of pre-screening when we board this plane, when to board the plane. I'll gladly give up 15-minute delay if we're being extra cautious, because I want to get there safely. And I travel quite a bit for work, and thank goodness I haven't come across any incidents like this. But I have seen intoxicated passengers at the bars, especially in these larger airports, because of flight delays. And no one stops them. There is no limit to how many drinks they can have. And then they'll come a 4-hour delay. They can go to dinner, come back and have another couple drinks. So Mama was lit. I think there should be quite a bit of charges on her besides putting her on the do not fly list. And I think the FAA, they need to enforce stricter regulations when it comes to alcohol consumption on airplanes. I really think this is something that needs to be addressed, because they're getting more and more frequent. And this woman was bold enough to start kicking and assaulting a federal officer. So I don't even know, was there marshals on the plane? Well, no, because she was only going from Boston to Dallas. So marshals are not really on those type of flights, but there should probably be more marshals on planes as well.
I agree with you. So let's take a look. Listen to this here. Let me see, because I think I got the footage. Let's play.
Security then. Ma'am. And then I waited in the airport, and your people let me off. And
listen, hey.
Now you're telling me no?
Ma'am, listen, can you look at me? I'm a police officer. Listen,
Get
this is your last
shoulder.
This is your last chance.
Come on.
You're not in trouble at this point. But
Get
you're not
your
flying.
hand off my shoulder.
All right. Deboard.
Go in the row behind her. That way, if we need to handcuff her, we can just lean her forward, handcuff her right in the seat. Ma'am, need you to step up and get off the plane. If not, I'm going to place you in handcuffs and take you off this plane. This is your one and only warning.
Hello?
Ma'am?
Just pick her up.
Yep.
Do not take my belongings. Do not take my belongings. You gave me my one and only warning to get off. Why would you do that? I was getting up. Let go.
Let go.
Let go. Give me my one and only warning back.
Stop fighting it. You're making it worse.
Is she uncuffed? Is she unbelted?
Yeah.
All right, stand up, ma'am.
I got it.
Yeah.
All I was just trying to do was fly home. And I don't know why you all got so salty. So you ain't got no water here. Nice one, guys.
We're not doing this.
Watch out.
So that's a hot, drunken mess. A mess. Katrina, your thoughts?
Well, Diva, you say she was leaving Boston going to Dallas.
Something like that.
Did she make it to Dallas? Or did they
She,
get her off before they took off?
no, they got her off before they took off, and she went to jail.
Okay. Then basically I blame the airport. I blame the airport. I blame the flight attendants because if you allow her to drink all this alcohol, knowing that she has a flight and you didn't stop it, you kept letting her drink, and then you get on the plane and you give her two more shots. So they wasn't doing their job. Even though, because some people have to get drunk or do something to get on the plane. I'm not telling you to go out there and get like this. But if you already seen this lady was intoxicated and you gave her two more shots of tequila, what did you think was going to happen? So the flight attendant should be in trouble as well. The people in the airport should be in trouble as well because they should have known her limit. You gave this woman 5 drinks. I don't know if she went stayed at the same bar or not. I'm not for sure. But she walked on the plane. Y'all knew something was wrong and you gave her more alcohol. So I think the airport and the flight attendant should be held liable as well. And for her to get up, that woman wasn't finna get up. That woman was out of it. That woman was wasted. She trying to go to sleep because the alcohol was putting her to sleep. That's why she didn't move. She was in a stupor. She couldn't move. And I'm just saying she couldn't move. She was in a stupor. She was out of it. And like I said, I still blame them. You have pilots trying to get on the plane after they've been drinking. So I mean, it's a mess. Maybe the alcohol should be taken away, but sometimes people need something to relax them or whatsoever. But I would do like the Gail did, do meditation. But like I said, I blame the airport and I blame the flight attendants for giving it to her. But that's all I got. Maybe that's just me. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Just a little final I just see a new update that just came in. Just as an FYI, we're going to have like a partial semi Diddy story today. But they got this judge working 7 days a week because the defense team just filed a letter saying they oppose to the removal of juror number 6. Okay. But Felicia, your thoughts on this story?
Well, good evening, everybody, and happy Father's Day to you, Wayne, and to everyone in the chat. I hope you had a beautiful day. I want to comment on this story, and thank you, co-counsel, because you come through, and I love it. Diva, I saw the story from the beginning. Why did they want her off the aircraft? What did she do?
She was acting erratic. And I guess, drunk and saying stuff. I had to dig through several other pieces of the story, but that one just gave the most. Like they was asking her to get off, from the door for whatever it was she was doing. I couldn't really get that 100% clear. But they asked her several times, which that in and of itself, I thought was very interesting how she was asked several times because she was first asked by the flight attendants.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree with Lady Love. She had to be in the terminal before they decided to board the passengers. So if she was at a bar, if she was drinking at the chair, when she went to giving her boarding pass, they should have noted something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so she boards the aircraft and she was ordering drinks before they even took off and they served her. She didn't look like she was sitting in first class. So I find that very interesting. And then when they do go to, they call somebody because now she's saying, no, I agree with Katrina. She looked like she couldn't move her legs. She looked like she wasn't cognizant. They called the police and not 911 in terms of medical. I'm shame on Delta because I don't know what was happening there. You've shown us footage before where the people are nasty and violent and they're fighting and they're hitting people in the head. I saw her say, no, that she let me on. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
She seemed like she pulled herself together. She was sitting next to a really big guy over there on the right-hand side. I don't think she was going to be doing a whole lot of stuff. But then they're going to talk about they want to throw her on the ground and search her for weapons. I thought that was why we go through a security. I'm taking off my shoes, my bra, my panties. I got to open up all my bag and everything.
Not your bra, panties.
What? You're 90% naked. You got to go through this x-ray machine that shows everything, and you're telling me that you need 3 big, huge male police officers to throw her on the ground to search her for weapons? Are they serious? Oh, no. I didn't like any of it. I didn't like any of it. And I don't know what really happened here. Maybe she cussed the flight attendant, one of them. Because usually what we also didn't see, the pilot comes out to tell you that you have to leave the aircraft. What we saw was law enforcement. Okay? So no, I don't agree. I hope she sued. I hope she got back all of her money. I don't want to see her on a Delta flight. I don't think alcohol is a problem here. I think it's the airline, and I think it's the airport. I've seen people check in for a flight leaving at 7 at night at about 10 in the morning, and they're there drinking all day long. Okay? So no. Searching her for weapons. They were assaulting that woman. And that police officer had his hand on her shoulder, leaning in on her. She asked him to stop, and he wouldn't stop. He was aggravating her. And she was alone, and they took advantage. No. I'm done.
Well, Felicia came through yours Father's Day. It is what it is. I don't know what to say. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, I got to pass on this one.
Okay, no problem. Listen, I'm rolling into the Diddy story only because I'm seeing some updated sad information. I just told y'all that they filed for the juror number 6 not to be removed. But you know what? 50 Cent is a piece of work. Let me share this. And he later removed it and changed the caption. But oops, 50 Cent sends a Father's Day message to his youngest son's mother. I'll have full custody soon. You'll be back on OnlyFans, you little bitch. This man, so 50 Cent, oh, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, little B. I'll have full custody soon, little B. You'll be back on OnlyFans in no time, little B. But how is your day going, little B? This man is please everybody mute until I come to you. I have so much to say here, but I'll put this out there. You know, when we see things we don't like in a certain form, everybody lose their mind, right? And I'm not here to say what Diddy is or is not, but you know, everybody's like, he's a monster. Put him away for life. This is what this man is saying about the mother of his child that he chose. That he chose. And he later, let me see, but see, what he don't understand is there are people working these social media streets day and night. And of course, they're going to be following his every move and everything that he posts because people make assumptions about things that are happening in the courts, right? Now, let me go to his Instagram. And so here it is. He changed it. He changed the message. I guess maybe somebody spoke to them and said, Happy Father's Day, guys. What did you get? Question mark. And this person wrote, nah, we want the original caption. And the original caption is what I showed y'all. He needs to grow up because at the end of the day, your child cannot be healthy and whole if either one of their parents are going through it. It's very sad. Let me share screen again. And this wasn't part of the agenda tonight. I just happened to come across it. Let me share again to say here, Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers tonight filed their vigorous opposition to the removal of juror, who is one of 2 Black men on the jury. This was discussed several times last week, apparently regarding the residency and what jurors said in voir dire versus a recent comment. So, they love these weekend letters to the judge because they know the judge. I think the judge is going to speak about this again tomorrow. So they responded and they said there is no valid bias to dismiss the juror. So it's going to go down on Monday. So listen, buckle your seatbelts because this has been a trial of the century, for real, for real. Lisa, he had a very tragic and violent childhood. That comes to no surprise. Who you saying did? 50 Cent did? But you know what, Lisa? A lot of people have not grown up in ideal situations. And 50 Cent has turned his life around, right? He got this company. He does very well. Like, to do that to your baby mother, I don't know. It's just, he does too much, if you ask me. So because I flipped there, I might as well go here into this story. Judge Mathis, I got no love for Diddy, but his friends should show up at trial for him. So Judge Mathis is saying that, listen, at the end of the day, if you were a friend of Diddy for the past 10, 20, 30 decades, he has done some stuff wrong, regardless of what the court has proven or not proven. We know for sure at the very, very least, we could say Diddy got a problem with putting his hands on people, and that is dead wrong. But he's saying that you should support him if you are his friend. Let's take a listen. I'll let you hear it from him.
I wanted to ask you, there's a lot going on right now with the Diddy trial. Mm-hmm. I've seen a clip of you saying that if you were in charge over this case, you would give him 5 to 10 years. I kind of want to know, from what we've seen so far, what are your thoughts on everything?
Those are state charges. I would give him 5 to 10 years for the multiple assaults against women. And I think they've proven that he was involved with the arson, burglary, being in the man's house. You don't have to break in. You don't have to break anything, kick the door down. Just being in someone's house unlawfully without their permission is burglary. So I think those 3 things have been proven. But they're state crimes, and their statute of limitation has expired. So that is irrelevant. The federal charge is where I think only thing they have proven thus far in the RICO case is the interstate transfer of prostitutes. And perhaps now, from what I heard yesterday, from Jane, I believe it is, she suggested that interstate transfer of drugs for personal use. The prosecutor charged, however, in the RICO with distribution. Distribution is typically the sale, but in this case, they are charging for distribution, which I think is more like personal use. You send someone out to buy the drugs and y'all party off of it, as opposed to buying them and selling them or distributing them for money.
What do you think about Kanye showing up? Do you think that could hurt or help his chances in any way, or it doesn't affect the jury at all? What do you think about that?
I think it creates drama, more drama than we've seen already. So that's my assessment, is just creates drama. And I'm not sure whether that was intentional for Kanye to create drama, or whether he's there to comfort and support a friend, which I think is fine. You should be there with your friend to comfort him. Even though he has done wrong, he has committed some heinous crimes, assaults against these women. But if I were a family member, I would be there to comfort him.
Okay.
Not defending, not stick up for what you've done. I will condemn him in private, and I will support him in public.
So do you think Kanye being there will sway the jury at all, or it doesn't really hold any weight or effect on the jury?
Well, it might hurt a little, because Kanye is known for a very sexually charged lifestyle.
You think more of Diddy's friends should be showing support to him?
Comfort him, yes. I think they should be showing just the comfort him. You look out there, hey, I know the deal. So you look out there, you want to see somebody and make you feel good that they're supporting you, even though the worst might be on the way.
A lot of people say his daughter shouldn't be coming to the trial to support him. What do you think about that?
I think they're absolutely wrong. I think all of his family members, when they have an opportunity, should come there just to help comfort him. I know certain folks say, well, he doesn't need any comforting with the things he's done. And perhaps the general population should. You're right. I don't have any sympathy for him. However, their relatives, I think, should be there to comfort him.
And from what we've seen so far, your prediction of the outcome of the trial?
Well, thus far, I think all they've proven is 2 federal cases. And if they're unable to tie it into a RICO case, then he should be charged and perhaps convicted of those 2 lesser crimes, individual crimes.
But you think they'll be laying out more as the trial goes on?
I suspect. So if they're any kind of prosecutors, they got something coming.
I don't think they got nothing coming. But Judge Mathis isn't going to show up to Diddy's trial and support him. But he says those he's close to should. Though he's also questioning Kanye's best reason for making an appearance this week. We caught up with the star Saturday in Los Angeles on the world's famous Rodeo Drive. And we had to ask him if he thought Kanye showing up to Diddy's trial Friday would make an impact. So Kanye was there.
Ever wanted to stay
there for about 30 minutes, they say in total. He saw Christian Combs. He dapped him up, said, look, I'm here to support you and your dad. Okay. And remember, Kanye pulled up to the federal courthouse in Manhattan Friday, but he never actually made it into the courtroom. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think on purpose, they wasn't allowing him into that main courtroom because they didn't want to sway this jury, shake this jury, in any type of way. So let's take a listen.
Sit right in the middle.
Kanye West?
No,
Kanye!
Kanye.
Kanye! Happy to see you.
Yeah.
You the last
Where's Bianca?
Kanye, do you think the Illuminati is behind this attack on Diddy?
Thank you, Kanye. Okay, I'm going.
Remember, Kanye pulled up to the federal courthouse, but he never actually made it into the courtroom. Instead, officials actually opened up a secondary overflow room just for him to watch the trial on a monitor. After only about 10 minutes, Ye left, and the jury never actually saw him there. Unclear if they ever heard about it. Judge Mathis says he's not sure if Kanye just showed up to start drama or if he actually wanted to comfort his longtime friend. But if it's the latter, the judge said he's all for it. In fact, Judge Mathis says more of Diddy's friends should go and be there for him. Adding, if he were a friend or a family member, he'd go. To be clear, Mathis says no one should be justifying Diddy's alleged actions, but that doesn't mean people can't go to provide to comfort him. As for where the case is currently, the judge says he thinks the prosecution has already made inroads when it comes to 2 counts of transportation to engage in P. After Jane testified that she arranged travel and Diddy paid to fly an S-worker across state lines. Mathis says the prosecution needs to do more work if they're going to get a guilty verdict on the other 3 charges. So we'll have to wait and see just how it turns out. Savannah, your thoughts?
Diva, what week is this trial? Are we on week 8?
No,
week 8.
I think week 6 is coming up. I think it's been 5 weeks.
It's only been 6 weeks.
Right, because I know it started May, right? But the first week was jury trial selection. So maybe that's 3 weeks in May left, right? So that's 3 weeks. And then June 4, 5. Yeah, we're coming up on week 6.
Oh my. It's like the trial that never ends and we still haven't heard any real RICO charges. I agree with Judge Mathis. Where are his friends? You know, Diddy was well connected in the entertainment industry, whether it was film or music or even the business deals. Like, where are the people that should be there accounting for his character, supporting his family? I don't agree that his daughters should be in the courtroom. I think that the topics, the discussions that are being had are just, these girls are still teenagers. I believe they're 17, 18, and they have been through enough trauma in their life. And for them to have to hear all the um, vile and things that I don't agree with, but they're adults, and so they do as they want to do. But still, I just don't think the two young girls should be exposed to any of that conversation, although there's social media and everything else. But nonetheless, I don't believe that any of the young ladies belong in the courthouse. I think his sons were exposed to this as they were growing into manhood, so they know about all the entertainment parties and the things that their father used to do. But Kanye's visit, I think it was for support of the family, but also he had his own agenda. And I never thought that he was going to make it into the courtroom either, because then it is going to persuade the jury. Here's another mega superstar in the courtroom, and it's going to distract the proceedings. So I'm just sad that it's week 6 and we still got another month and a half to deal with this trial.
Well, you know what? Thank you, Savannah. But you know what the judge said by what is that date? He said July 4th. This thing is a wrap. He's done. The judge is done. I think that the prosecution is going to rest their case one day this week. And then the defense is up, and I don't quite know who the defense is going to call, but we'll see. Savannah, your thought? I mean, I'm sorry, Katrina, your thoughts?
Diva. Have y'all not watched New Jack City? When Wesley Snipes was on that stand and his friend was in that courtroom and how he called them out. Some people ain't finna come down there because they feel like if they coming down there, they're gonna be sitting at the same table Diddy sitting in. I mean, yeah, they should show up support because they was out there partying with him, but they don't want to be associated with that because they feel like they're gonna be on trial next. They ain't finna do it. They partied with him. They did whatever they did bop, whatever. But them folks is not finna come in that courtroom. You don't see Jay-Z when they supposed to be so tight. They was two Seans. You don't see none of them people. You don't see French Montana. You don't see Carisha. You don't see none of them people. None of them. So I mean, them people ain't finna come in there because they think they're gonna get allegations pushed them on them. They trying to mark themselves away from Diddy. They're not finna do it. And that's a sad thing. You partied with me. You knew what I was doing before I got locked up, and now you act like you don't know me. And that's what they're doing because they feel like they're gonna be sitting at that table exactly what Diddy's sitting at. So for the family members, and I don't think those girls should be there, but that's not my decision to make. I really don't. They already got to go through enough. But no, them people ain't finna come down now. And Kanye showing up because he knew he got called in, like Felicia said the other day, because he knew they was talking about him, and maybe he was finna come in and dispute what Jane Doe was saying. But other than that, those people is not coming down into that courthouse. But that's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. Felicia, your thoughts?
Well, this is an interesting night. I didn't think we were going to be talking about bad fathers and disrespectful men on this day, because we get 364 days of that kind of BS. But I adore you, Wayne, but I'm going to answer and I'm going to comment on this one. First off, I want to remind everyone again, and thank you, Diva, for allowing me to do that. We haven't had any minors yet, folks. And we were told who's coming forward tomorrow is someone who's going to do a summary. We're having Brendan Paul. Brendan Paul is the the young person who was carrying the substances who went to rehab, and some expert, but no minors, so no kids. As far as the children, those are grown adults. They've seen a lot and they know a lot. And I agree with Judge Mathis. You don't have to be condoning, but you should be there supporting, particularly if he's been supporting you.
Better talk.
Mr. West, Mr. Kanye, Mr. Yay, he's there to set the record straight that Jane Doe was complicit and complied. So I think he'll be back. I believe he's going to come back, and he's going to be a witness for the defense. The reason why we may not have seen many others is because they will be witnesses for the defense. Often they tell you when you're going to testify, you should not be in the courtroom and hearing other people's testimony. They don't want it to interfere with your recall or how you understand things to be, to get all confused and things like that. And if we recall, I believe when Mia was on the stand and Bono was on the stand, they were asked, had they spoken with Miss Ventura? And they had said yes. And they said, had you spoken with her recently? And they said, yes. Well, you know, I called to congratulate her about the baby and this, and that. And then they asked, well, did you speak about this trial? Did you speak about this case? Oh, no, we didn't talk about any of that. And I say, well, whatever. So I think we'll see. I'm not sure, but I'm confident in many ways that Ye is going to testify. And if he does, and if he says what I believe he's going to say happened in Vegas, that will take away at least one of the charges of trafficking and prostitution from Mr. Combs. Now, one of the other things that I'm so, based on this letter that the defense sent, does that mean juror number 6 is really not listening to social media? Because if not, he's an asshole, and we need to get his ass off that jury. Okay? We told him to write a letter asking the judge to respectfully remove him from the jury. Well, that must not have happened because the defense is writing a letter vigorously asking the judge to keep him. Now, for those who weren't here, I want to be totally understood here. This is about juror number 6 economics. He's a city employee, and this residency issue may be putting a certain light on him that is not favorable. The question is, what is his primary residence? Where does he live primarily? If he lives in the Bronx, it should not be a problem for him in keeping his job and being in compliance. But if he's not living in the Bronx and he's living in New Jersey with his daughter and his girlfriend, well, he can be at the unemployment office sometime this week. And that's more serious than these millionaires and these billionaires who are going to go on with their lives, and they're not going to have too much of a struggle other than maybe an ankle bracelet. They got to go do rehab or something like that. So that's why I'm really furious to think that juror number 6 did not determine his own fate. As far as 50 Cent, 50 Cent is a trash father. He's a trash man. I don't like him, never did, and never will. I'm done.
Thank you. Trash. That's just pure evilness to say to her. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, on 50 Cent, some folks just don't never grow up, you know, because that's just deplorable to call the mother of your child a B. You know, that's forever. That statement's forever. Because when that child, I don't know, he has a boy or girl, whatever, but when they grow up, they're gonna see on social media that Dad called my mother a B on social media. Okay, so that's not cool. Also, about Kanye, if Kanye had entered that court, I believe Jane Doe would have fell out of her seat. Because when she was up there telling the story about how she flew to Vegas, and we all know this, what happened, blah, 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 somebody was doing something, whatever, she got overwhelmed, excited, and just showed her breasts. Well, I kind of think a little bit more than that happened. So if Kanye was in the court and she telling that story, and Kanye knowing, that's not what happened, she gonna be in trouble. And I think if they do put Kanye somewhere, get on the stand, and they find out that he was the rapper in New York, he gonna tell some things. It's gonna be a conflict of what Jane Doe said happened and what he say happened. Personally, I don't think you flying all the way to Vegas to flash your boobs. When you're a known, you like to do this stuff, this right up your alley. I think she seeks out billionaires, people who have money. And I don't think they had to ask her twice to be involved. So if Kanye takes the stand, I think something like that's going to happen. I think he should be there to support Diddy. Also, he's real tight with Trump. So I think he's going to be taking some words back to Trump. And I think if he is sentenced, I think he got a full pardon coming. He got the money, so I think he'll have a full pardon coming. So that's my thoughts on it.
Thank you. 50 Cent, deplorable. And I do believe in support your family members, right? We all fall short, and especially because it seemed like Diddy, he just tossing the cash to everybody. But I move right into this last story. Halle Berry's been through a lot when it comes to the relationships, right? And she has found herself with a man that she really loves, Van, her current partner, and he did ask her to, for her hand in marriage, but she says, she's not opposed to it, but she's also not rushing into it. Let me go ahead and share a screen. So Halle Berry is 100% sure she wants to marry Van Hunt despite engagement being on hold. Halle Berry's boyfriend of 5 years, Van Hunt, recently revealed that their engagement is on hold for now. However, a source exclusively tells In Touch that the marriage is still imminent for the pair. Halle says Van is her soulmate. She's 100% sure she wants to spend the rest of her life with him, the insider says. Before meeting Van, she swore off ever getting married again. She was so disillusioned with men and with the whole fairy tale ending fantasy. But then she met Van and she opened up her heart again. And the truth is, she does feel like he is her happy ending, the one she was meant to be with all along. The Catwoman star 58 was previously married to David Justice from 1993 to 1997, Eric Benet from 2001 to 2005, and Oliver Martinez from 2013 to 2016. Looking back at her failed marriages, she doesn't have shame anymore, the source continues. She just sees them as having lasted for as long as they were meant to. She knows people will have plenty of comments for her when she announces that she's getting married again. But she says she's so in love with Van and so certain about him as a person that she doesn't care. The insider adds that Halle has said Van 55 is the first man she truly got to know before jumping into bed. And in her mind, that's very significant because she was able to see him so see him so clearly as a person. She wasn't blinded by all the hormones that happen with sex, the source concludes. In her past relationships, things moved very quickly. Passion was the name of the game. But with Van, it all went much slower. The passion is there for sure. They're still wildly attracted to each other, but it's much deeper love than just physical attraction. Halle and Van first connected during the COVID-19 pandemic and got to know each other for 4 months over the phone. She once told AARP, the magazine. Van later shared his first photo with Halle in July 2020, and the Oscar winner confirmed the relationship on her Instagram in September 2020. While many fans had pushed for the adorable couple to get engaged, Van revealed in Wednesday, June 4th interview with Today.com that he already proposed to his girlfriend. However, Halle was yet to accept. So I put out the proposal and it's still on hold. As you can see, the musician said, it's just out there floating, you know, maybe you can encourage her. Halle added, well, I've been married 3 times. Van has been married once. And so, no, we don't feel like we have to get married to validate our love in any way. We don't. Then Never Let Go actress continued, but I think we will get married just because out of the people I've been married to, this is the person I should have married. And I feel like I should, we should get married, but it's not because it's not because we feel like we have to. I think it's something that we like to do just because we want that expression. We, when asked when she and Van plan to tie the knot, Halle simply responded, soon. You know, I love Halle Berry. I like her. Savannah, your thoughts?
Oh, sorry, Diva. I was finding the mute button. I like them two together. I follow her Instagram stories, and their photos are extremely cute. And I do see that there is a chemistry between them. But I don't think that Halle should rush to get married or just think that there is a need to get married. I think a piece of paper isn't going to change how they feel about each other or how they carry their relationship. She's, you know, Halle's not one of those that's always out in the media circuits, and we don't hear many stories about her. So I like that they continue to do things private. And if, you know, that's what they choose to do, that they're grown, they're adults. I just think, you know, she's been through so much with other previous relationships. And she has 2 beautiful children. They're about to go into, I think, high school, and they're grown now. And she's still dealing with her previous husband and how he's always trying to get more additional money and funding from her. So I just think she just needs to slow down, take her time, and just love. I like their relationship as is. I don't think there needs to be a marriage between them. I think it's fun dating, and at our age, I think she really doesn't need to be married a 4th time. Her and J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, I really just want them to date, enjoy life, and not feel like they need to go down the aisle again.
Thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Does she have a clear mind? She's sunbathing on the roof. Um, this woman, I mean, Halle, you know, I like her in, you know, my movies, the X-Men. Wolverine, my favorite. But anyway, what I was saying is, girl, you went with David Justice. You was with Wesley Snipes. I think allegedly he hit you in your ear so hard you couldn't even hear out of it. Allegedly, you got with Eric Benet. He was a serial cheater. He had a sex addiction. You got with this other man. He treated you wrong. And you got with another one. They was out there boxing each other. If this man is making you feel complete, things change once once those names get signed on that line. I'm not saying he is going to change, but I would be doing an Oprah and a Stedman. I wouldn't even want to marry nobody. I would date you. We can hang out together. You know, ain't no more children coming unless she do a Janet Jackson thing because she's in menopause. And I'm not saying women can't have kids in menopause, but anyway, What I'm saying is, I wouldn't marry anybody right now. I love you, and that should be it. I wouldn't put myself in that situation, especially the marriage. I'm not saying that all marriages fail, but most of her marriages have failed. I wouldn't want to get married either. I'll be very, very, very skeptical about marrying anybody. Have fun, do what you're doing. You know, when you get older or he get older, y'all still together, then I might tie the knot. But as of right now, I wouldn't marry nobody. I'm serious. I'll be like a Stedman and an Oprah. If I had the money and stuff like that, I'd do that way. And I'm not talking about anybody can't have love or don't need love or anything like that. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it. But I'm not her. But we'll see how it goes. That's all I got.
Thank you. Felicia, your thoughts?
You know something, Diva? I was having a beautiful day, and then you brought up these blanket of blank people, and now I'm feeling mean and evil. And let me be clear. Let me be clear. This woman who had half her uterus out, all of her belly button, 2/3 of her cleavage, and her rosé or whatever's in, where was it, the Oscars? Where the heck was she? With no clothes on a very public platform. Oh, well, now it's coming to me. So nobody contacted her after she was naked.
The Grammys,
like
sorry.
public. And so that's why she think Van is the answer. Van, run, baby, run, get out. You need to go. She don't know how to feed the kids. She got a drinking problem. She drinking wine on the terrace. She's on the roof. She's in the supermarket drinking. The children have to tell her, please, can you cook us something? Van, run. Thank God she said no. Thank the good Lord. She said, let's put the engagement on hold.
Oh, my goodness.
David Justice told us decades ago there was something about Halle that he couldn't pinpoint, but she wasn't, she wasn't a balanced person.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he did. This was decades ago. And here we are decades later, and she's naked and drinking. Her neighbors can't have their children play out in the street because she's got her ass out on the terrace talking about she's in love. No, you're addicted, woman. You got problems. Go to rehab, get cleaned up, okay? And figure out why is it that you have no money and you're out of talent. Okay? And if I'm living and breathing next year, I will not come up for Father's Day. I'm done.
Wayne, your thoughts?
Well, maybe this guy's a strong man for her.
Come on, Wayne.
And neither one of them are spring chickens.
Come on, Wayne.
Her kid's almost grown.
Yes.
And some people do honor the institution of marriage.
Come on.
I don't know if she out there laying around or not. I think she should get some, before she does get married again, get some intense therapy to find out why I've been married 4 times.
Really, though?
No. Well, I mean, she's done this 3-4 times. They say the what is it? The definition of crazy, doing something over and over again and expecting different results. So I think before she does it again, she needs to get some therapy to find out, like, hey, it might be me. Let me see what's wrong with me. Let's get some therapy or something like that, and try to, have a marriage, if she really loves him. If she loves him, I'm not gonna say it's love or lust, but if she says she loves him, he loves her. I think they should. Ain't nothing getting no younger. Yeah, she been married 4 times. What's 5? Elizabeth Taylor was married, I think, 8 times. I'm just saying, if she's gonna do it again, get some therapy to find out, so you don't have to drag this man. You know, to be the fifth one. So if she says she loves him and he loves her, okay, go on and try is it the fourth time? Fifth time? Try the fifth time. Yeah, they both got to be in their 60s. You know, get a prenup, do all that stuff you got to do. Because if not, I mean, like I said, some people just, I'm not trying to paint Halle Berry as no super Christian or nothing like that. But maybe she don't want to be out there fornicating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she married, she ain't fornicating. So that's my thoughts. Go for it. Yeah, 5, 6 times. If you got to do it 7 times till you get it right.
Come on, Wayne.
I ain't hating on her.
Don't hate on Halle. That's it. Listen, people, I appreciate y'all. I know it's Father's Day, but you know, we got to talk. We got to talk.
I got to say something to Wayne, because he not going to do me like this tonight. No, he not. Okay. We gonna
backstage, Felicia, because I ain't coming back. Backstage. Save it for backstage. Look, you ain't messed up my Father's Day.
He said backstage. He said not today. Not today. It's Father's Day. He said it's Father's Day. Don't
Wayne,
do it.
I adore you,
Felicia. He said it's Father's Day.
But no. Everybody knows Wayne has a real soft heart for beautiful women. Yes, I didn't expect him to say anything less about Miss Halle, because she is beautiful.
Yes, she is.
And so she could be saying this her 12th time wanting to get married, and he would say, "Okay, you try it again, Halle. You know, till you get it right. That's all." Okay, Wayne, I get it. I accept your position.
Mm-hmm. He loves his pretty woman. Yes, he does. Listen, people, I appreciate y'all. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Again, to everybody, happy Father's Day. I appreciate y'all every time y'all come through. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. I love y'all. 50K for the month of June is my goal, to hit 50K subs, because by the end of this year, I want to have my $100,000 subscriber plaque. So help the Diva out. Thank you so much, y'all. Good night and goodbye. I'll see y'all next time.